Hey guys, we got Captain Frank here. This is Dylan Hubbard from Hubbard's Marina, and we're going to talk a little bit about hogfish today. You ready, Frank?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, so let's go into first your secret tackle for the hogfish. All right.
All right.
So show us what you recommend.
Here we go. We got two different rig setups that we use. The first is the naked ball jig. This is the absolute easiest way to go here. A couple things we do to the naked ball jig real quick that you can to improve its lifespan is a lot of guys will take the ring splitters, open this up, and change this hook out to a little bit stronger hook. You don't have to, but I kind of like it. You can also take a little bit of super glue, put it right on these threads if you want to. You don't have to, but it adds to the longevity of the bucktail of it. So
yeah, I know Christina was doing that for a long time, and it keeps that feather on a little longer.
That's true. That's exactly what it does. And again, once that feather's gone, I wouldn't even sweat it. Keep using the jig. You don't have to tie on another one. But that's the primary setup right there for a naked ball jig. All you got to do is tie it onto your leader. And I like to encourage a 30-pound leader. I think 20 is a little on the light side. You can absolutely get by with it if you know what you're doing, and you can swing a hogfish without hitting that railing as you're coming in the boat. But a 30-pound, you know, if the hogfish doesn't mind all this chains and hooks and lead like that, they're not going to worry about 30-pound versus 20-pound. I don't believe it.
Very cool. Do you recommend a loop knot on that naked ball jig, or you just tie straight uni knot or
I
clinch
tie
knot?
a straight uni knot, but you can do any one of them. I've seen them done every which way. I don't like the loop knot on the next the knocker rig we're going to show you, and that's because sometimes that loop knot will get twisted up in there. But that's
6 to 1, half a dozen of another.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So here's our other rig here. Now let me go on to what size beads we have here. These are 8mm.
Does that matter?
Well, that's the size that I like.
Okay,
so,
8mm, and they got to be red. Got to be red.
So, I've seen people use every different color, and I've seen more color on the red ones, but I see the red ones being used more. So does the color matter? Not really sure. And then what I'm pairing it with is the Owner 4/0.
All right, 4/0 hooks.
Yeah, and some people like the 3s, some people like 5s. I wouldn't go a whole lot much smaller or bigger than that, but they are the laser point or laser cut, and they're super sharp. And
the ones we carry in the office.
We do carry these in the office. All this stuff we carry in the office. So,
yeah, the beads, the naked ball jigs,
right.
the hooks, the weights, we got it all.
And here's the setup we use. Now I like to put 4 beads on there. Smokey swears on 5. I see some people use 3, but I think it's just the clacking of the beads that may
the clickety clack.
The clickety clack, maybe. And this one's a 2-ounce lead. I use anywhere from a 1 to a 2. If it's under certain circumstances, you might have to use a 3, but usually the 2 is gonna get you through it. So
1 to 2 ounce lead, even up to 3 if the current's running bad.
That's right.
4 to 5, maybe even 6 red beads. Don't go crazy.
I think that's too crazy, Dylan.
All right, 4 red beads is Frank's favorite.
30-pound again. I use 30-pound mono and 30-pound braid myself.
So who gets credit for that rig? I know Smokey was trying to claim credit.
Well, Dylan, I just don't honestly know how that all came about. As far as I know, Smokey was kind of the first person I've seen use it.
Yeah.
But those red beads were on some of the double hook rigs that people used to use, and we just thought, hey, why the heck not? And you put them together. And
can you show that rig one more time?
Sure.
The knocker rig.
Yeah, we got
So it's essentially a knocker rig with 4 to 5 red beads, 8mm red beads, and the knocker rig means the egg sinker is just free floating on the main line. So that egg sinker is unrestricted travel up and down the leader. That's what you're talking about, right?
That's it. Just like that.
Very cool.
All right. So
now,
a lot of people had asked, now how do you fish it?
Exactly.
That's probably your next question.
My next question,
right.
How do you fish it?
So it's actually quite easy. I'm going to show you. I've got a rod over here set up, and this is the way I had it set up with 3 beads. I think I was just out of beads that day. I would have gone 4.
You would have gone 4.
Yeah, I was running low. So, and I think I've got an 1.5 ounces on there. Again, it just varies each trip by the current. And
so lighter or slower currents, you use a lighter weight. Heavier current, you'll use a little heavier weight.
That's right. And I'm using the 30-pound braid, 30-pound leader, and it's super easy. I use a 2500 Daiwa Saltus. You can get
also available in the shop.
Also available in the shop. You can range up to 4,000. I wouldn't go a whole lot heavier than the 4,000. I've seen a lot of guys bringing out those 6,000s, and they get tired pretty quick. It's a little heavier reel, but super easy to use. Just hook the. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Throw a shrimp on there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have a shrimp on there.
Yeah. So live shrimp is the hogfish kind of preference.
Hopefully, I don't embarrass myself and lose the shrimp overboard. Because I see a lot of people doing that.
Let us see how you hook that shrimp.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? For the amateurs, let's show them how to take it out of the bucket.
Okay.
If you go in there and try to grab your shrimp like this, they're going to click and clack all over, and they're going to shoot all around, and you're going to have a hard time getting them out of there. But if you just go in there and close your hand real slow, they can't move. They can't move on you.
They can't move on you.
They can't flick you now because they got that little barb in the front. Can you see that?
Yep.
And then they got that one on the tail, and they'll spook you if you haven't done this very often before. Super easy. I like to go in from one side of the shrimp tail right through the other. Some people like to bite the tail off. Some people like to tear it off. Some people just like to leave it like that. It's all up to you.
So that's in the side.
That's
so a
right.
lot of people like going underneath the bottom of the shrimp and out the top.
Some people do.
You prefer it from the side.
I do it both ways, Dylan.
Okay, I like underneath the shrimp and out the top personally.
Okay.
But you're saying it works both ways.
Each their own.
All right.
Super easy. I bring it right to the tip. I get more distance that way, and I'm slinging that lead out there.
Never overhand cast.
No,
Always
you're not
under.
allowed to overhand cast on this boat. It's not allowed.
Always underhand.
You can slide that thing out there.
So are you casting for distance?
You know, I do kind of go for distance, but if I see hogfish coming up right next to the side of the boat, I'm surely not going to throw it out there as far as I can.
I got you.
I'll drop them straight down. I let it sink all the way down to the bottom. Bring my line taut, and just pull up one time, and let that egg sinker sink back down. And when I do that, I draw in the line tight, and then I'll pull it again. Same thing.
So
real tight.
Cast out, let the lead hit the bottom,
right.
Retrieve the slack till the line is tight.
So the line, you see it's tight. My rod's even bending because I've got it just taut, and that's how you're going to feel that bite.
Tight enough to feel the lead, but not tight enough to disturb it on the bottom.
Sometimes they'll hammer it. A lot of times they hammer it when you just do that lift up and bang, he's on there. You reel as fast as you can to get that hook set in him.
Yeah.
And,
so cast it out, let it hit bottom, retrieve the slack until the line is tight enough to feel the lead but not disturb it. Lift the rod tip up, let it sit. Then about 30 to 60 seconds, lift the rod tip up again, retrieve the slack.
Right.
Keep repeating that process.
And if you're feeling it, sometimes you can get a couple jerks in there just to get a little attention, get those beads clicking around.
Yeah.
And that works too. I do. It all varies.
So the idea is to basically cast out and then kind of walk that lead back to the boat.
That's right. And once I get pretty close, especially if they're not catching the hogfish right next to the boat, I'll reel it right in, because when you're using that light of a lead, and you have a lot of people that are using rental rods with 3 and 4 ounce leads that are straight down, you don't want to get involved with the tangle with that.
Yeah.
So you just get it back in and do it again. I didn't get a hogfish this time, but maybe next time. So same thing. I draw the lead up near the tip, not right on the tip, but you'll get a heck of a lot more distance that way. That's a pretty good distance, for just having 1.5 ounce lead. Same thing, let it sink to the bottom. And I'm just going to do this one a couple times here. Oh, we almost caught a pelican. Let it sit for just maybe 5 seconds. Bring it in. Let it sit. Draw it tight. And I'm kind of almost pulling the rod. I'm not really pulling the shrimp. I'm just kind of moving it to keep it tight.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be a little difficult with the swing of the boat, but you have to do it like that.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of the times the hogfish are just right on it.
Yeah. And the bouncing it around as well makes not only the beads click together, but it creates that little puff of sand that'll attract the hogs.
And they are definitely a curious fish. I'd really want to know what happens when we drop that anchor. I bet you a bunch of hogfish do swim to that anchor.
Yeah.
Because they seem like a really curious fish when we send down those GoPros, and they're all over whatever's going on. If there's a fish being coming up, they shoot right over to it and they're like, what's going on?
So that shrimp hookup going from one side of the tail to the other, you ever use any other method, or is that your go-to?
No, I do this. Same thing as you. Sometimes I'll come up from the bottom up through the top.
Oh, so you weren't joking.
No, I really do that sometimes. And then, and sometimes I do cut the tail off. I do bite it off, but you don't have to do that.
And then a lot of questions that we get from time to time is the size of the shrimp. Does it matter that you don't have the biggest shrimp?
No.
Do you look for a certain size?
As a matter of fact, let me see if we have a dead one in there. Oh yeah, look, there happens to be a dead one in there. Yeah, so sometimes when the shrimp die, I'll cut both of them in half just like that.
Wait, show me again.
I'll just break them right in half.
Break up the dead shrimp in half.
And put it right on there, just 2 pieces. It doesn't really matter. It's not like where you're inshore fishing and you're snook fishing and you want that shrimp, free swimming around. If the shrimp is dead, you can use them again. I picked them up off the deck and cast them in the water and caught a hogfish like that.
It's got to be fresh dead though, right?
Yeah, fresh dead for sure.
And once it turns pink and gets nasty, it don't work.
That's right.
Frozen doesn't work.
Do not bring previously cooked shrimp on the boat to catch hogfish, guys. I've seen that happen many a times. I'm like, I've got some cocktail sauce in the fridge. Let's do the right thing.
All right, so we showed you how to hook them. We showed you the tackle. We showed you how to fish it. Now, the first question someone's gonna ask when they see this video is, what about the naked ball jig? Answer is, you fish it the same way, right?
Same exact way.
Same exact way. Cast it out, let it hit bottom, reel the line, tighten up the feel.
Not exactly the same way. Actually, now that I think about it, you are reeling it in the same way and doing the same jigging, but there are 2 hooks here, and a lot of people like to put two shrimp, one on each hook, and I see that's a quite common thing. And I would do the same thing myself. I got 2 hooks. Why not? Because if you miss the first one, I don't know if anybody's ever caught them without the shrimp on there. Because
Todd does. Yeah, so Todd, the creator of Naked Ball Jigs, he fished it next to me on that Fish Naked trip.
Is that right?
And I was using shrimp, he was not using shrimp, and he actually caught more hogfish than I did. I caught 3, he caught 4.
Well, there you go.
So you can catch them on the Naked Ball Jig without it being tipped, but
so
most people do. So the only difference between fishing the knocker rig and fishing the Naked Ball Jig is you would add a second shrimp because you have a second hook on the Naked Ball Jig.
And this is something you'd use maybe if you had some smaller shrimp left.
Yeah.
You wanted to put 2 shrimp on, things like that.
Yeah.
Same way, if you run out of your big shrimp, whatever, put 2 shrimp on there, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, but a smaller shrimp works fine by itself. Do you have a size preference? What do you consider?
Yeah, I mean, if it's really small, something, you're talking like
the summertime shrimp.
Those really, really small shrimp. And we usually give extra in our buckets, right? I mean, in general, when we have those situations, and then you would use 2 on the hook.
All right. Sounds good, man. Wait, what about the jumbo shrimp? Some people are like, I need select shrimp to catch hogfish. In my opinion, you end up catching more juvenile red grouper and other species.
Yeah, the dad groupers do hit them too, for sure.
So would you recommend jumbo shrimp? Not recommend them?
Jumbo, a select shrimp, you'll get those in your bucket, and I really don't think it matters at the end of the day. They just want the shrimp on there. I caught a hogfish today, and I just had 3 small shrimp, and I hooked them on the hook. It was the end of the day, threw it out there, and it's just a pretty typical.
It's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, I think they just they smell it out. I don't know.
So 30-pound braid, 30-pound leader, 1 to 2 ounce hook.
Yeah, this is a 2 ounce naked ball jig. I know you might not be able to tell, but this is
any color preference on the naked ball jigs?
Well, I just don't have one. I've seen them caught on every one of them. Color. And there's some people that swear day by day that the color does matter. They don't catch one for the first 2 stops. They just weren't casting them on top of them, in my opinion. But that's just how I feel about it.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks, Frank.
No problem. We'll see you guys out there.
And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing,
you're just too busy or the weather's bad.
See ya.